What's up guys, my name is Ace, and yesterday we got the big balancing patch that we've been waiting for in Infinite Warfare. A lot of the guns have been changed. I did talk about it a little bit last week before this actually happened, but we didn't really have the exact details on this. In today's video, I'm going to be showing you guys side by side what exactly changed in this game. Let's get into it. Alright guys, so let's start moving right through the list here. First up, the Type 2 got a very noticeable buff. First up, it got a fire rate increase. And this fire rate increase I calculated to be right around 10%, which is very noticeable. This gun is now very beastly. It stands out as one of the better guns in the game now. You are going to be much more competitive with the Type 2. And in addition to this, they also reduced the aim down sight recoil, but I feel this was more so just to compensate for the increased fire rate, because when I do the wall test, as you guys can see here, the recoil pattern isn't significantly different from pre-patch to post-patch. So the Type 2 used to be a lower tier weapon. Now I would say it's pushed a little bit more towards the upper tier, but it still is a 5-shot kill weapon. So I don't think it's going to be coming out in competitive anytime soon, but it is much more viable in public matches. Moving on to the Volk, this one got an insane increase to its 3-shot kill potential. Now I already mentioned last week, I don't think this is the buff that the Volk needed. Instead, I would have reduced the recoil just slightly on it, because that's the real issue with the Volk in my mind, is the recoil is random and unpredictable. Having said this, the buff that they gave it to its 3-shot kill potential was crazy. It used to be a 41 meter 3-shot kill potential, which is very solid as is. Now it looks to be right around 50 meters based on my hand testing. This means that without a suppressor, it's going to be difficult to find a line of sight in the game where the Volk isn't a 3-shot kill. But like I said, I don't think it really targeted the root of the issue with the Volk, and that was its random, unpredictable recoil. Moving on to the Titan, this one actually caught a couple different buffs. First off, it got a fire rate increase, and I calculated this to be right around 5%, so not quite as drastic as the Type 2, but still a very solid and noticeable buff. And its 4-shot kill range got increased as well. It was 50 meters, now it appears to be somewhere around like 58 to 60 meters, somewhere around there based on my hand testing. I honestly feel the Titan didn't need this buff in the first place. It was already a solid LMG, but now it's just that little bit better, especially with the suppressor. Moving on to the KBAR actually caught a little bit of a nerf, and that nerf was to its 4-shot kill potential. That's the only thing that changed with the KBAR, and as you can see here, it was a very slight adjustment to its 4-shot kill range. I think it's fairly unlikely that you're going to see much of a difference in game, but it did get that slight reduction. Moving on to the one that most of you guys are probably here to see, this is the NV4. It got a nerf to its recoil, so it has a little bit more recoil now, and as you can see looking at the side-by-side, it is noticeable. You can see a slight difference, but I don't think this is going to be a completely game-changing sort of thing. If you liked the NV4 before, you're probably still going to enjoy using the NV4. It's just a little bit less viable at those longer ranges. Getting into our next change, this was a buff to the RVN, and I didn't talk about this last week because it wasn't included initially last week. This is something that they just added in. The RVN got a very significant buff to its 3-shot kill range, and it also appears its 4-shot kill range has been buffed as well, even though that wasn't mentioned in the patch notes. As you can see here, it used to have approximately a 35 meter 3-shot kill range. Now its 3-shot kill range is approximately 50 meters. That is an insane buff. I think maybe they took it a little too far, a little bit too fast. We'll have to see how it plays out, but they kind of went 0 to 100 on that thing, and they really buffed it. So it's going to be a whole lot better with suppressor now, and also one thing I wanted to keep in mind, even though there isn't a 5-shot kill range displayed in the post-patch bar here, there is still technically a 5-shot kill range, but good luck finding a clean line of sight long enough where it's going to be a 5-shot kill with the RVN. Moving on to the Widowmaker, they increased the rate of fire within the 2-round burst of the Widowmaker. Now if you really pay attention, you can definitely hear the difference, but so far I haven't been able to notice any performance difference with the Widowmaker. I thought it would tighten your 2-bullet spread, and perhaps if you look at them side by side, maybe it is just slightly tighter on the right hand side, but that's a little bit of a stretch. I don't think it really changed the Widowmaker too much. As for the DMR one, they made it so it aims down sight a little bit faster, and it is quite noticeable as you can see here. It now aims down sight 3 frames faster, which might not seem like much, but in Call of Duty, taking 3 frames off your aim down sight time is definitely a noticeable thing. Moving on to the EBR 800, they reduced the idle sway speed, so you can kind of maybe see a little bit of a difference in the side-by-side here. It doesn't sway around quite as fast. Not a super noticeable change in my mind. And they also increased the 5-shot kill potential of the assault rifle mode of the EBR 800. But unfortunately, I had no pre-patch data on that, and I still don't have any post-patch data, so I'm not going to be showing you that side-by-side or any sort of a range chart for it. As for the howitzer, it got a buff to its kill range, but testing that with any sort of accuracy is extremely difficult. I did try to do some tests, and they just came up as inconclusive. Pre-patch and post-patch look to be pretty much exactly the same. I can tell you right now that the howitzer definitely didn't get like an insane increase to its lethal range, but according to the patch notes, it did get a little bit of a buff. So that's pretty much going to cover it for all of the buffs and the nerfs that went down in yesterday's patch. It was quite a big one. The meta is going to change a little bit. Try that Titan 2 out a little bit. Try the Titan out again. Try the Volk out. You'll probably be very pleasantly surprised. As always, if you guys are interested in checking out the full patch notes, I will leave that link down below. If you enjoyed the video, a like rating is always appreciated, and don't forget to subscribe for more if you haven't already. I'll talk to you guys next time.